What's up developers, it's Dari here and welcome back to a new video where we're going to create a custom artisan command in Laravel. I recently started using my GitHub more and more and I was thinking about adding a repository for every video where I have a uses section at the bottom, right here, which will basically show you how the code will work in text. If you are interested in this, let me know in the comment section down below so I can continue on creating content like this as well. PHP frameworks such as Symfony, CodeIgniter and Laravel have many interactions with the command line. If you have used Laravel before, you definitely know all the advantages you're getting while using the command line interface. Now the PHP artisan command that we usually perform comes from somewhere. It's not something that's just running on your local machine. If we navigate to the code editor, and inside the root of our directory right here, you'll find an artisan file which has no extension. So let's open it and see what's going on right here. What this file basically does is running the console application, execute whatever you're trying to perform, and send it back with a response to the CLI. Eventually, you'll see at the bottom of this page right here that whenever the artisan command is finished, it will fire a shutdown event and bring you back to the terminal. Now that I've showed you how the structure of Artisan works and this being an advanced Laravel tutorial, I kind of expect you being familiar with the basic Artisan commands. But what about writing your own custom Artisan command? Obviously, there is a command for that. If we navigate to the CLI and perform php artisan list, and let me actually make my terminal a bit bigger. Alright, you'll see a complete list of Artisan commands that are predefined right here. And obviously there's not enough time to cover them all, so let's get right into the most important one for this specific tutorial. If we scroll up to the make section, so the letter M, right here, you can see that the third command, which is the make colon command, and as you can see in the description, this will create a new artisan command for you. Now this command will be used in the same exact way as any other command. So inside the CLI, let's perform php artisan make command, followed by the command name. So let's name it create new product. Keep in mind that this file name will also be the class name, so don't forget to add Pascal case right here. Let's hit enter and let me make my terminal smaller again. What this command will do is creating a new file inside the app folder, console folder, and a new folder of commands have been added right here with a create new product file. So in the create new product file, you will see some familiar stuff. We've got our namespace, we've got a basic use statement, we have our class name which extends the command. But if we scroll down inside our class, you'll find two properties that we need to change up. The first one is called signature, right here. And the second one is the description. Today's video is brought to you by Cloudways, a managed hosting platform for your applications. Cloudways has enabled businesses to scale and reach new milestones instead of worrying about server hassles. With reliable 24/7 support, Cloudways offers complete peace of mind from server-level nightmares. Furthermore, its superior tools and works enhance your productivity so you can focus on creating incredible experiences with your applications. It's a fast managed solution for agencies, SMBs, and e-commerce businesses. What I personally like about Cloudways is their slogan, moving dreams forward. Before we change it up, we can actually make our lives a little bit easier by passing in a parameter inside our command console to define the signature, which will then automatically change the signature right here. So let's delete our create new product file, move to trash. Inside the CLI, let's hit the arrow up and we can add a parameter by adding a space, double dash, command is equal to, let's say, create colon product. With the command parameter that we're passing in right now, we're basically setting up the signature. Hit enter. If we perform php artisan list one more time, we should be able to see a new command here called create colon product. It's alphabetically, so let's navigate to the top. Right here, we have a new header called create with a command called create colon product, but the description isn't defined. If it's not showing for you, make sure that you clear your cache, because I sometimes run into caching issues when I try to create my new custom command. So be aware of that. Now let's open our create new product file again, and let's scroll down to the description and let's change it up to create a new product through Artisan. That's a typo. Now let's save the file. Let's go to the terminal and hit the arrow up and run the PHP Artisan list. Let's scroll up again to the C section. Right here, you still see the header create. The command is still create column product, and our description has been changed to create a new product through Artisan. Now the real magic of our command will happen inside the handle method that we have at the bottom, since this will be performed whenever you run your command inside the CLI. If we try to run our command, let's say PHP Artisan create colon product, you'll see that nothing will be printed out. At the moment, it's returning 0. So let's change this up to an echo of first command. Save it, navigate to the CLI, hit the arrow up and hit enter. And right here, you'll see that first command has been printed out. I'm basically showing you this to tell you that something needs to happen right here inside the handle method. What we're going to do is to create a product through the CLI, but we obviously need to create a database and migration to do that or to save the product. So let's do that first before we continue on with the custom command. So let's say PHP Artisan make me a model called product, and let's also add a -m flag to create our migration. Hit enter. Alright, our model and migration are both created. Now let's open the database folder, the migrations folder, and the latest migration that we got. Alright. Now we need our ID, but we also have a table string for the title. Let's add another table double, which will be the original underscore price. Let's add a new integer of table tiny integer, which will be the in underscore stock. Since we're working with a tiny integer, we need to set a default, so let's chain a method called default and set the default to 1. Before we migrate our database, we do need to make sure that our database credentials are set up. So let's open the .env file. Right inside of the database section right here, we need to change our database name to Laravel underscore artisan and our password to Dari1234. Save it, close it off, go inside the terminal and perform a MySQL command. Let's say create a database called Laravel underscore artisan. Hit enter. Alright, one row has been affected. Perform an exit to get out of MySQL. And right now we can perform the PHP Artisan migrate command inside the root of our directory. As you can see, the last migration that we created is the create underscore products underscore table. What we're going to do right now is creating a new product with Eloquent inside the CLI through an Artisan command, and then we will create a new command to print out all products. If we close off our migration and inside the handle method remove the echo, we need to make sure that we ask the right information inside the CLI, which can be done with the ask method. Create a new variable called title and set it equal to this ask. Inside the ask method, we need to pass in a string that will define the question. So let's say single quotes and add a text of what is the product title. We also got to do this for the price and for the stock. So let's duplicate our line 2 more times. The second one is the original underscore price and the last one is the in underscore stock. Now for the string, the second one is what is the product price and the last one is what is the product stock. If we perform the PHP Artisan create colon product command inside the CLI, well, I do need to save it, perform it again. You'll see that we are being prompted with a question of what is the title of our product. And this is being done with the ask method that we added right here. It does need to receive input, so let's add a iPhone 12, product price of $799, and the stock of 10. You'll see that it stops and we haven't really done anything because we haven't saved the data inside our database and it's not printing out the data. So the next step is adding the values that we just added inside our database. But before we do that, we need to make sure that we do something inside our model. So let's open it. And what we need to do is to create a new protected property called fillable, because we need to make sure that our title, price, and stock are required to fill in for mass assignment. So let's say the title, the original underscore price, and we have the stock, which is the in underscore stock. Save it, close it off. right below our 3 lines that we have right here. Hit a double enter. We have created a model for our product called product. Let's hit enter to pull it inside the use statement, create. What we're going to do is mass assignment. So let's go inside the parentheses of our create method and hit brackets and hit enter. Right here, we're going to pass in a key value pair. So let's say that our in single quotes title is equal to the variable title that we have right here. Comma. Let's do the same thing for the original underscore price, which is the original underscore price variable, and for the in underscore stock as well. So let's say variable in underscore stock. All right, let's save it and let's test it out in the CLI by hitting the arrow up and enter. Give it a product title of iPhone 12, product price of $799, and the stock of 10. Now to test this out, let's perform a MySQL. And let's say use Laravel underscore Artisan. Let's select everything from the table products. And as you can see, we have indeed added a new row inside our database through a custom Artisan command. Now this is fun and might be pretty useful to either create a product, task, blog post, or product. But it might also be interesting to print out all values inside the CLI. So instead of doing what we just did, performing the MySQL command, use the right database, selecting all products from the table, I want to create a command that will print out all products that we got inside our database. What we need to do, or it's better to do, is to create a new tab, perform the PHP Artisan make command with a name of show all products, and let's also add a -- command parameter of show product, which will show all products. Hit enter, open the show all products file. The signature is alright. Let's change the description to show all available products. Then inside the handle method, let's remove return 0 because we're simply going to print underscore R. We're going to call the product model, pull it in, all. And let's close it off with a semicolon. What this will do is returning it as a collection. That's not what I want to do. Let's go back to our all method and let's chain the toArray method. Change our return value to array, navigate to the CLI and perform the PHP Artisan show product command. Right here, if we make it a little bit bigger, you'll see that we have pulled in one row with the ID of 1. The title is iPhone 12, price is $799. And it's in stock. When you finish executing a command, you'll usually want to write a message back to the user. Remember, when we created a new product, it didn't really return anything back to the user. It does exit the question, add it in the database, but that's it. So let's go over the different types of output messages you can use. Also, be aware that this may be different from you since it depends on your local machine. The easiest way is using the info method. Let's make our terminal a little bit smaller. We need the create new products and right below our Eloquent query, let's say that we want to say this info, which is the info method. And in here, we need to pass in a message. So let's say product has been created. Let's test it out. Let's perform the PHP Artisan create product command. That was a typo. Hit the arrow up and change it to product. Give it a title of Samsung. I don't know what the price is. Let's say $8.99. And the product stock is 10 as well. And as you can see, we have been prompted with a message of product has been created, which is green, which is a positive thing. You can also replace the info method to the comment method. And what this will do is printing out an orange message. So let's test it out. Let's hit the arrow up to create a new product. Let's give it a title of LG. Price is $1,200 and the stock is 10. You can see that we have been prompted with a yellow message or orange, which says product has been created. We also got the error message, obviously, which will basically show an error message. As you probably know, error messages are usually displayed with a red font color. So let's change the comment method to error, save it, hit the arrow up in the CLI. Now let's think about another product. I'm just looking around. All right, I'll see a Dell laptop right here. The price is $1,200 and the stock is 10. And right here, you'll see that we have received a red message of product has been created. Now let's say that you find the different colors childish, which I can't understand since it's pretty important. There is also a method that just prints out white text. Now to do that, we need to change error to line, save it and hit the arrow up in the CLI. Let's format one more time, and I'm looking around again to see if I got something in my room that has a tag name. Alright, I see a keyboard, so let's say Logitech, product title is 10 and the stock is 10 as well. And right here we have a uncolored message which says product has been created. Now let's take it a step further by printing out the data of all products into a table. If we perform the PHP Artisan show product command one more time, you'll see an array that might be easy to read right now, but it will be quite difficult when you got tons of products inside your database. Even right now we got 6 rows. Now this isn't actually fun to read at all. What you can do is output it pretty much as the MySQL output we got when we select something, right here. Exactly like this. In order to add this inside your custom command, we need to navigate to the Show All Products tab. Inside the handle method, we need to define 2 sets of data. But I want to keep the print_r, so let's go right below it. Let's say variable headers is equal to an array. Inside the array, we need to define all the headers that we got. Be aware that we're selecting everything that we got from our database, which will also pull in the ID. So let's say ID, comma, title. We have the original price. We have the stock. We have the created at, and we have the updated at. Now the second parameter we need to pass in is the data itself, which we already got through Eloquent. But right now we do need to set it equal to a variable. So let's say data is equal to product, all, and let's change the toArray method as well. Now on the line below, we could say that we want this table. Usually a table has headers, which is variable headers, followed with the data in the columns. Well, if you go to our other tab and perform PHP Artisan show product, make it a little bit bigger, you'll see the print_r that we had before, which will be raw data of the array, which can be pretty useful when you want to loop over certain stuff. But if you just want to show some data, it's way easier to wrap it inside a table like this right here. Now there's one more pretty cool feature that we can add, which will be a progress bar. I won't go too in depth on it since you can make it as complex as you want, but I'll make a start by showing you how it works. We pretty much all have seen the progress bar once in our programming career since everyone has run the npm install before. Let's test it out. Let's perform npm install, which will show how the npm installation is going. So let's make our terminal a bit smaller again. Alright. Now first let's comment out all the lines that we got right here, including the print_r. Now right below our comments, let's create a variable with the name of count and let's set it equal to product, all, and let's change the toArray method. In order to define our progress bar, we got to say that this output is the progress start method, which will make sure that the progress bar will start. Now this method accepts one param, which will be an integer. Now in order to pass in an integer of our count, we can call the count method and pass in the array that we got on the line above right here. Now let's go right below our output, create a for loop since we got to loop over the total amount of products. The counter will be I is 0, so the starting point is 0. Then the test counter will be variable I needs to be less than the count of our variable count, so the amount of rows that we got inside our database. Then for the increment counter, we're going to increase variable I with 1 every single time. Inside the loop, we're going to add this sleep method, which will delay the execution of the current script. It accepts one param, which will be the delay in seconds as an integer. So let's pass in 1 to delay it with 1 second. With every iteration, we're also going to print_r the data that we have, so the count variable. Then we need to advance the progress. So let's say this output, and let's change the last method of progress advance. What this basically will do is divide the entire bar of 100% by the number of rows that we have inside our database, increase it with a percentage every iteration until it reaches 100%. Outside of our loop, we got to tell the bar that it's done with it. So we got to say that this output will be progress finish. If we save it, run the command inside the CLI, so the PHP Artisan show product, right here. You'll see a progress bar at the bottom, but their rows are also being printed out as an array every iteration. And whenever it reaches the 100% mark right now, you'll see that the command will be stopped. Alright, there's one more thing that I want to show you before we wrap up this video, and that's how you can use an Artisan command in normal code. By using the Artisan vacate in either your web.php file or your controller, you can use the command inside the browser, but it might be something you need to do every once in a while. So let's test it out inside the web.php file because I don't want to create a controller and stuff. But keep in mind that you can do it in the same exact way. There are two ways on how you can call a command. Let's start off with the first one. Let's open the web.php file inside the routes folder. Let's go inside our route above our view. Let's say that we want to print _r something. And what we want to do is to call the Artisan class. So let's write down Artisan. Hit enter to pull in the Artisan vacate. Then we have to add the : call method, which accepts one parameter, which will be the terminal command. So right here, let's say single quotes, show : product. Now let's save it and open a browser. Let me go to my local host, refresh it. It's taking a second, but it might come up. Now you won't see the progress bar, but all the products have been pulled out of our database because we have this specific line inside our code. We are saying that we want to print out all the products that we have inside our database. Now the second method is through the Artisan vacate as well, but instead of using the call method, we're going to replace it with the queue method, which also accepts one param, and that will be the show : product. Save it, navigate to the browser. Before we refresh it, I want to talk about the differences. Why does the Artisan vacate have two different methods to do the same exact thing? It comes down to what you want to achieve with your code. Right now, you'll see that the first method that we used, which is the call method, returns an array, which is alright since we did add that inside our command. But if we refresh it, you can see that it's an object array rather than an array. Now this was it for this episode where we went over some stuff that you can achieve with custom Artisan commands. If you do enjoy my content and you want to see more, leave this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button.